Truthfully, I wasn't nervous until that second step. I'm going to read John 19, 28 through 30. Later, knowing that everything had now been finished, and so that Scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of hyssop plant, and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. When I read this verse, it wasn't too clear on what I should talk on at first. Because, I'm only 18 years old. What's really finished? But then it kind of hit me that Jesus gave up his spirit. He could have fought on as long as he wanted to. He was God. And to me, I was kind of thinking about what I've given up, really. So this year, I chose not to do soccer because college is expensive, so I chose to work. But with soccer, there's a lot of things I've given up with that already. I'm a really competitive person. If you've ever had a PE class with me, have ever played trivia in Sunday school, or anything along those lines, you know how competitive I can be. You've heard me in the bus after a game or in the locker room. You've heard me after a game of any video game these days that the kids play, And with soccer, my freshman year, some of you know this story, some of you heard this story. Freshman year, playing JV soccer, I go slide for a ball. This knee is up. Kid comes running for the ball. Kid goes flying. He, upon impact, broke his leg. The crowd could hear this crack. But most importantly, I could hear this crack. I've had to give up a lot of guilt, and he's had to give up a lot of hatred, I'm sure. And through it, I think we're both better people. Other things I've given up was through my sophomore year and some of my freshman year. I had many doubts and questions in my faith. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted. I had questions like, is God real? Why are we here? What does God need me to do here? What will happen when I die? I've given up problematic behaviors in people and relationships with people who've had problems, and some of them still do. I've given up depression, anger, self-image, and a lot of addiction to, not substance, but mental addiction to things that really are not pleasing. But through all this, my questions were, why am I here? Is God real? If God is real, why am I here? Why do we suffer? Why am I suffering? Then, last year, some of you know I did this thing called the Daily Bible Reading. Some of you don't know what that is. What I would do is I'd take a video of me reading some of the Bible and describing it so people would get the idea and possibly read along with me. I would post these videos on Snapchat, and if you don't know what Snapchat is, ask your grandkids. I got to Hebrews 11, and that was a really important section, I felt. So here I'll read Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. I'll skip over to verse 13 and read 13 through 16, because it talks about a bunch of people who have faith. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. The people who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. Now, when I was reading this, I was thinking of a little bit more questioning. I was like, why is the city not here? Why can I not get to this city? Mentally, I could see the city off in the distance. Physically, I could not run there. I can't run physically much anyway. But I had so many questions and so many doubts, and now they're gone. It's when I read that verse, it just clicked. I was in my mind, in spirit, I was at this place. I didn't have to physically go there like I'd so thought before. When I finished the Bible, I thought about how my sins were gone. It felt kind of like when you take a shower, I'll describe it as. My sin is gone. It is finished. But I am not finished. We are not finished. And our stories are not finished. But sin, that is finished.